Welcome to the favorites, the podcast, part of the Volume Podcast Network. I am Chad Millman of the Action Network. Our annual division by division NFL preview episodes continue. We're coming down to the end as we head into week one. To help me bring it all together, let me introduce my co-host, my companion, my compadre, my BFF, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Chad, my guy, how we doing?
Dude, today we're doing the NFC East. So I want to tell you a little story, which you will love because it involves one of your favorite coaches of all time. I got some buddies here in West Hartford, where I live, who are from the Philly region, outside Philly, South Jersey, whatever. And they are such rabid, rabid Eagles fans. They get together during the season. They watch in this guy's basement. They've already rewatched the Super Bowl victory from last year in preparation for the upcoming season. And a couple weeks ago, they called me because they were going to watch the movie Invincible. As you know, I wrote the book
Did you?
Invincible. Yeah, you're aware. I wrote the book Invincible about Vince Papale, who became the oldest rookie in NFL history when he made the Eagles off of an open tryout when Dick Vermeil became the head coach. It was the movie Invincible starring Mark Wahlberg and Elizabeth Banks. I appreciate you recognizing it because when I said they asked me to go to this party, when I said I was going to come by, my son was like, Invincible. Didn't you have something to do with that? Did you? What? I'm like, you're a fucking dick.
You got to explain to them. That's Philadelphia's Goodwill Hunting. Okay, you had a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
Part of Philadelphia movie making.
So I went and I the night before I texted Vince and I told him I was going to this Invincible party at my buddy's house. And by the way, they had these like I don't know, like the Philadelphia Wawa version of Hostess cupcakes and like little cakes and stuff that you got to rub the plastic to make sure it doesn't stick to the icing. I forget what they're called, but anyways, I told Vince I was going to this, movie party for Invincible, and he texted me. He was in Jupiter, Florida. A video, Jupiter, Florida, of Doug Peterson. This was literally that moment. He was with Doug Peterson, who was making smash burgers, and they were getting ready to watch the Hall of Fame game. And I'm like, this is the fucking best.
Nah, man, it's a brotherhood, Philadelphia.
Doug Peterson loving his life with Vince Papale in Florida.
Well deserved. Well deserved. Good man.
Today we're doing the NFC East, brother. Eagles, Super Bowl champs, Washington Commanders, Dallas Cowboys, New York Football Giants. As Mike Schiffman had asked us to do, the NFC East faces the AFC West and the NFC North. So even the last place schedule, because of the NFC North, will not necessarily be easy. Let's start with your Eagles, brother. Division -145, conference +300, Super Bowl +650. Win total 11.5. I got a lot of thoughts on this right now. But you're in that Venn diagram of super fandom and professional bettor, and I know Eagles fandom does not influence how you feel about these numbers. I say that with all seriousness. So before I say anything, just give me your opinion.
Yeah, and this is peak NFC East cockiness, pride. I think in the whole division where, Washington thinks they're big and bad. Dallas thinks they got Super Bowl aspirations, and I believe after our last Super Bowl we have the most Super Bowls above any division, NFC East. So it's the Northeast bias is strong right now with this division, and yeah, I look at it and this Eagles team, I think even talking to Eagles fans, they were losing their fucking minds. The fact that I was telling people to bet Dallas, and I tried to explain them all to explain to people now. Just because I was saying Dallas is the best value does not mean I think Dallas is going to win this division. Obviously, this is the team that's going to win this division, right? The Philadelphia Eagles. And at -145, it's that number because there's so much love for Washington right now in the general public and sports media because of Jaden Daniels. Well deserved what he did last year, but that's really what's pushing this number down. And then we know the history of this division. It's just teams don't repeat. I don't know if we're going on year 19 or year 20, but there's not been a repeat champion in this division that long for good reasons. There's always something, right? There was always something. Even when there's teams leading by like 4 games, there's 5 games left. They've lost somehow all those games. The other team will come up and win it out of nowhere. So it's been really fluky, but I think it's finally bound to happen, Chad. I think I can say with confidence that this Eagles team will be the one that can break that streak, and it's just because of this defense. And as much as we love and respect we give this Eagles offense, deserved, well-deserved, to win your division consistently, you need to have a really good defense to back that offense because, I mean, we've talked with other professional bettors. Defense to a lot of people is considered very inconsistent from year to year, and that is why these defensive coordinators are so important. I mean, Fangs, he's changed the whole NFL. His defensive scheme has changed everything in this league, where the deep ball is, for the most part, died for most teams, right? Because of this type of cover 2 defense he's brought in, where he runs cover 2, cover 3. I mean, that Super Bowl they just won, I think if you watch most of it, they ran cover 4 against Mahomes most of that game, and it worked. Like, it's crazy how dropping these safeties back and keeping everything underneath, it makes these quarterbacks eventually make a mistake. Like, you only can be patient for so long, especially if you're trailing. So this Eagles team, their biggest weakness was they lost Milton Williams, Josh Sweat. Like, when I hear people say that stuff, I laugh. I think Eagles fans laugh because no one was saying those names until that Super Bowl. No fan outside of Philly knew about those guys except, until that Super Bowl happened. So, yeah, does it matter they lost those guys? Of course. But to me, being not only an Eagles fan, but someone that follows that team through betting, their best D lineman was Brendan Graham through, 8 weeks last season. Like, this is a man that retired after the season. So that's lets you know how that DN group, they were just all really solid. There was no superstar of that group. So losing those 2 guys, it's a big deal. But for this team, it's not that big of a deal. And the game changer for them has been obviously Jalen Carter, but it's the linebackers and the cornerbacks. Like Howie, we had one of the worst secondaries in football. We lost 7 straight games, and he went out and took, arguably the best corner of football, in my opinion, in the first round, and then took a guy that, people now know his name, Cooper DeJean, because of that Super Bowl. So, when Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean can come in and change a whole organization in 1 year, there's going to be carryover. So that was their first year. They're only going to get better. So I would say most Eagles fans you talk to are sticking their chest out. They're very confident. They believe. I want to hate on them. I want to push them down. But I just can't find a weakness on this team. And even saw, I think yesterday, Landon Dickerson got hurt. He hurt his knee, which is their, all-pro guard. That's a huge deal for almost any team to lose your all-pro guard. I don't know what the injury is yet. They just said it's a knee injury. He's got an MRI in his knee. If he's out for the season, that is a big deal. But with Jeff Stalin, another cog in the machine, you expect the next guy to step into that guard position won't be that big of a downgrade. So, yeah, if they're healthy. I mean, I remember I said at this point last year, I think I had the 49ers at 1 last year at this point, then Lions, then Eagles, and then the Chiefs. And people were killing me. And I get it. Like, they were like, you're being a homer. No way are the Eagles last year a top 3 team. And then we head into the playoffs last year. The Eagles were my best bet. We did an article for Action Network, and it was my best bet, Super Bowl bet. They were 11-1. The Eagles, a super team. People call them a super team. They were 11-1 in January heading into the playoffs. You could have got them, a super team. And it's just one of the things how people just move the goalpost, right? They move the goalpost. So this is, of course they won. They had the best defense. They had the best offense, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, why were they 11-1? So I think the whole public's come around now on this team that, divisional odds, value is there. Win total, I would take it. I have them at 13 wins, 11.5. That's a nice win total. Conference and Super Bowl, we've already talked about it. There's no value there. Like, that to me, that's where it stops for this team. Where, once again, rather do Eagles with the matchups, because them to win this conference at 3-1, they need so many things to break their way once again, like it did last year, right? Like, they just need to be healthy, and that is the hardest part of football. So, you can tell I'm really excited and fired up for this team, because we haven't had a repeat champion. Like, we had the last time we've had a team win 2 Super Bowls and then the next team win 2 Super Bowls was, I believe, Pittsburgh and Miami in the 70s. So that's how long it's been in the NFL. I think over 50 years now since we've had back-to-back champs where they've gone back-to-back, back-to-back. So, yeah, as an Eagles fan, I'm really excited, but as a bettor, it's like this is the dream team. It was the same thing as last year. Chad knows I love betting teams based on offensive lines and defensive lines and their schemes. And this is just another team that, because Howie's drafted so well, there's no glaring weakness. So I have no fear of the curse of never went the same team repeating this division. I think this is the exact type of team you need to break that curse, which is a team that's not even talking about last year's Super Bowl. They've totally moved on, totally one direction. It all starts with Jalen Hurts. So yeah, very, very confident in this divisional bet. This is probably my top 3 of my highest bet right now. It opened at 150. It's actually dropped at some books to 140, 145. So people are betting Washington, they are betting Dallas, and they're moving this number. So I'm hoping it doesn't get above 150 again. I think this is the right price for me in the value-wise betting this Eagles team.
Howie during the draft. First 5 picks on defense across the defensive line, linebackers, and secondary. 3 of the next 4 picks on the offensive line. I think he knew they needed more offensive line depth. They lost Mekhi Becton from that Super Bowl offensive line. Like you just mentioned, Dickerson, we don't know what the injury is, but Howie doesn't leave the cupboard bare in the areas where he needs it most filled, where we love, which is defensive line, offensive line. I'm not even that worried about them losing Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, because to me, that's one of the reasons they sort of fell off a cliff the year after winning the Super Bowl, is they did not get the coordinators right, both offensively or defensively, they were off, right? You mentioned Vic Fangio came in, and like the good thing about Fangio is, A, he's a brilliant defensive coordinator who's proven it again and again and again, including last year. He's not going to leave to go be a head coach somewhere. Meanwhile, the Eagles, they didn't go out and look for a new offensive coordinator. They basically just promoted a guy who's been on staff and Jalen Moore has a comfort level with. So some of the disconnect that Jalen Moore had in adapting to new offensive coordinators the year after he won the Super Bowl, I don't think will be a problem this year, even though it's his 5th offensive coordinator in 5 years.
And people forget, though, like I honestly don't think them losing that OC is that, yeah, I don't know why I keep calling him Kellen Moore. It's Kellen Hurts. When
it is Kellen Moore.
You put Jalen Hurts with Kellen Moore together. Losing Kellen Moore, it was a big deal, but it's not when I really broke this team down where they struggled. People forgot.
Dude, that's what I just said.
Yeah, but you kept calling him Jalen Moore.
Oh, no, Kellen Moore.
Yes. That's what I was making fun of.
Jalen Hurts, it's not going to be that big of a deal because it's a different scenario than when offensive coordinators were replaced after they had won the previous Super Bowl.
Yeah, my point was that he wasn't even that big of a game changer. The Eagles were second in least points scored in the first 2 quarters of games up until week 13. Like, I remember we kept betting against them in the first quarter because they could not score for the life of them. And I told you what eventually happened was Jalen Hurts, after that bye week, he went to them and just said, we don't need to be a passing team. We should be a run-first team. Like, we have the ultimate cheat code in Saquon Barkley. And this upcoming season, I think things might change where they might push the ball a little bit more downfield if possible. But I look at it as, don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, you know what you are. Like, keep feeding the beast to Saquon. Ride him as long as you can, as long as he's healthy. So, yeah, I think you nailed it, Chad, where it's like, usually I'd be with some teams where it's like, well, this isn't like losing Ben Johnson. You're losing to a guy who I think got propped up by the pieces around him. He wasn't so much this offensive genius.
The Washington Commanders, you mentioned Jaden Daniels, division plus 225, conference plus 850, Super Bowl 20-1, win total 9.5. It's very easy to say fade the Commanders, but it's the right thing to do. I think Jaden Daniels masks everything that is wrong with this team. The O-line, not very good. Does Laramie Tunsil make them that much better? Is he on the other side of being peak? Terry McLaurin holding out. Does Deebo Samuel on the other side of peak make this team much better? In both cases with Tunsil and Samuel, I think they're getting big time guys whose productivity is a year or two behind them. Um, so again, they're going to be over reliant on Daniels' playmaking ability. He's not Justin Fields, right? He's not an irresponsible scrambler. He's not Anthony Richardson. He doesn't make himself vulnerable. There's no reason to think that what he did last season, performance wise, was a fluke in terms of his ability to keep the chains moving and find success on fourth downs. But there's going to be some regression. They literally converted nearly every first down. I would go under 9.5 here. This would be sort of the bet that I would peg in this division.
Yeah, and I have them at 7.5 wins, so they're
There you
they're
go.
way, way, way over. 9.5 is. I couldn't believe when I saw that open, and I know people are gonna be
Huge.
like, "Well, you're being a Washington hater," but it's just. I think Chad's nailing a little bit of how fluky last year was in many ways, and they're being sucked into. If Baker doesn't turn that ball over, they win that game, right? That playoff game. What's their win total if they don't have that run, right? It's probably 8.5 because of how good they were last year. So you're already getting you're already betting on over if you're betting this with a fake win like that. They're getting a bump from the books because of the general public's view of this. So I can't believe people are being sucked into this team where it's just so much about their season last year was fluky. I think they beat. Maybe it was two winning teams, but I know it was one team with a winning record in the regular season, and it was the Eagles with Kenny Pickett. Like I'm trying to think of any other team they beat with a winning record. I can't think of one. So this is just a team that beat up on bad teams, and respect to them. Like good coaching. We talked about it. Like that was the greatest rookie season we've ever seen, and Daniels deserves that respect. So I get why the public is loving him, why the media loves him, and people are already putting him as a top 5 quarterback, and like everyone's just drinking the Kool-Aid right now, and it's just natural for that because we've never seen anything like it. Like we never saw a rookie come in an offense like he did last year and take them to an NFC Championship game. It was incredible. So I get from their standpoint why they're so high in the sky, but like we're talking about here, when you dive into it, you see how fluky last year was, and then you look at this team here, what they've added to it. It feels like they just added a bunch of old guys. Like yeah, adding Von Miller is great because he's a leader and there's some things he can do, but that's not a game-changing piece. Debo, I like the move because you're going out and you're trying to make your team better, but haven't we seen what Debo's become, right? He's just not the same type of player as he was before, and his aggressive style, it seems like it adds to him getting hurt more often than not. So there's just so many questions here. And then the number one thing that really is pissing me off is this whole McLaurin thing. I don't get it. I don't get how these organizations with these billion-dollar owners, like Josh Harris, should just pay this man this money. Like what Terry went through the dark days of Washington. He's been there through all the shit, and you never heard a word from him. And every year he would go out and put out another 1,000-yard season. And finally you get a quarterback perfect for him, and you want to be tight about it. I hate it. I hate it so much for this Washington team because this is the window. Like you got Daniels on this cheap money. Pay McLaurin. If you're worried about his age, because I don't know if he's 31 or 30, give him a
31.
3-year deal there. Just make it all guaranteed. Like he deserves all that money and then some. He doesn't get hurt. He always plays hard, and I hate this distractor for them. So yeah, someone that likes their under, this is all good. This is all good things like this drama, off field stuff. So yeah, to me, Commanders right now, we have them at plus 220, plus 225 to win this division. I got them at plus 400. I actually have Dallas at plus 300. So I am way off compared to what the books and the general public think of this division, where I think Dallas is clearly the second best team in this division. The general public and some professional bettors really believe this Washington team. So I think it's a big miss, and I think we're on the same page. We expect a lot of regression from Jane Daniels, but it's really the schedule. Like their schedule is just so much harder than it was last year. I can't see a world where they get to 10 wins. It just seems like it's going to be impossible with how hard the schedule is and how much luck they need to break their way.
I'm so glad to hear you say that because when I was taking a stand on this being my favorite bet, that they're under, I didn't know your rankings and ratings had them at 7.5, which 2 games for
Big.
you,
Yeah.
that's like one of the biggest deltas we have here. So I'm feeling really good.
And
Really,
again,
really
it's
good.
not knocking the talent of the team. I just think it's just the schedule is so tough. Like it's just not like it was last year where they had kind of
Well,
that,
look, they gotta play the teams in their division. The Cowboys will be better.
yeah.
They gotta play the
Giants will be
Eagles.
better.
They gotta play the Cowboys twice. They gotta play the Eagles twice. They gotta play the Chiefs. They gotta play the Vikings. They gotta play the Packers. They gotta play the Lions. Like it is not,
Denver,
yeah,
yeah,
not an easy
it's
schedule at all.
tough. So that's my hesitation with them. People are like, I get why people are drinking the Kool-Aid then coming in, but it's who Chad started at the top of the show with. It's who this conference plays outside their division, and with the way their schedule breaks, it's just really tough for a young team like this.
Quick heads up, anybody playing fantasy football this season, the Ultimate 2025 Draft Kit is here, courtesy of our Fantasy Labs team. This means our award-winning team of Sean Kerner and Chris Raybon have their rankings, tiers, and cheat sheets ready for you. To get them, you'll need a Fantasy Labs subscription. And right now, new subscribers can use code FLEX20 for $20 off at fantasylabs.com/flex. Let Sean and Chris make your fantasy prep easier. Use code FLEX20 for $20 off at fantasylabs.com/flex. Dallas Cowboys, 6-1 to win the division, plus 600. Conference 25-1. Super Bowl 50-1. Win total, a paltry 7.5. So, listen, you and I have talked about the Cowboys a lot this offseason. We've liked their value in the division all offseason long. Uh, I bet them on the money line to beat the Eagles in week one. I bet them at +7 to beat the Eagles in week one. And before the Micah Parsons drama, this was all yes, 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 yes. And like you have been very influential in reminding me how good Dak can be and that he is coming back this year. So we shouldn't be down on this team. And I kept remembering that the defensive line last year was playing second and third stringers for a large part of the year. And that Micah Parsons is hopefully, when I was making these plays, going to be back. Jerry Jones is fucking this shit up. You just talked about like Josh Harris, pay Terry McLaurin. This is changing the dynamic for me. All of a sudden, Micah Parsons, even if he plays, might not be in shape. The offensive line keeps losing starters to injury. Dak is a 31-year-old who's clearly got creaky wheels, so he won't be as mobile as he has been. George Pickens could be a temper tantrum away from ruining Brian Schottenheimer's rookie season. I'm losing all my enthusiasm, Simon.
Good. We don't want you on this boat. No, no one likes this team. That's what's been so fun. Like I remember when we did our live show, and I felt like it was years ago. It was whatever, March or April, and I gave it out as my best bet the live show. And it was met by a ton of boos. And I am with you, people. We all hate Dallas. Dallas, being the only team in the NFC not to make the NFC Championship game in the last 30 years, it warms my cold, cold heart. I love it. Like it's the best thing ever. Like that meme of Eagles watching their Super Bowl reel on a DVD or on YouTube, and Cowboys fans plugging in the VHS tape to watch their Super Bowl reel. I love it. I drink it up, and I hate that I have to be the guy. Gifford, you want to get in here? Let's hear it.
Concisely, I don't think they're good enough anywhere. Offense, defense. But I think there's enough there to get to 8-9 wins. It's probably looking like a classic Dallas Cowboys first round playoff exit team. But that's 8-9 wins. I just don't want upside markets. Don't think they're good enough anywhere around the ball.
So, and again, I talked to a lot of Cowboys fans because shockingly, people wouldn't believe it if you're not from Philadelphia. We have a shocking amount of Cowboys fans in this area. Like when I go to a sports book, even in the offseason, there's about a 30% chance I will see a Dallas Cowboy hat or jersey in the sports book at any given time. They are here. And talking to them, this is exactly the team. This is what you want. They have no confidence. If you talk to a Cowboys fan last year, Holy shit, were they shit on this Eagles team? Talking about how they were going to run away with this division, how they're the best. Now they're all out. They do not like or trust this team. They're not that confident. And I'm the other way where it's like, this is the same Dallas team that's probably going to get the 12 wins or 11 wins. This is what they do. And people can shit on Dak for what he does in the playoffs. I agree. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about regular season right now, talking about win totals. And this was one I hammered, and I was pissed. My model, I was like, oh, my model will have this at 10. It doesn't. It has them at 8.5 because they do have a tough schedule. That's cool. It's a game above. So it's like, because I already invested really heavily before I really ran and dove into it. Because when it first opened, I couldn't believe it. And then we saw when the schedule came out, the books were kind of ahead of it, right? Them having 4 Thursday games, it's criminal. Like them playing the Chiefs on a short week, that's brutal. But hear me out here, Chad. Let me paint this Dallas Cowboys stealing this division picture and how they can get to 12 wins. They start with the Eagles. Say they steal that game. Opening night, Dak always plays well against the Eagles, and this is the perfect time to steal this type of game. Like, no one's going to be counting on them. Everyone's out on them. I think they're still a 7-point dog. Dak Prescott's a 7-point dog against the Eagles. It's crazy. If they steal that game, then beat the Giants, then beat Chicago, that's a 3-0 start. That's not that crazy. Them beating the Giants or Chicago. Okay, Green Bay is their kryptonite, but that's at home. Okay, I'll say they lose that game. Then they go Jets, Carolina, Washington. They're Washington's daddy. So, like, to me, you're looking at a team right here that be sitting at 6-1 heading to Denver. So, like, it's all laid out for me, in my opinion, of, like, if they can get out to a hot start, if they can go 7-2 heading into their bye week, heading into Vegas, it's all there because they literally go Vegas, then they get Philly at home. Like, it lines up for them early in the year that they could, if they can come out and play well, they can easily see this division. I think people are too down on Dak and this offense where Pickens with CD, I don't think people wrap their heads around how deadly of a combo this is going to be. Like, Schottenheimer could be a full-on fucking idiot, and it's going to work on offense. I'm telling you it's going to work because exactly what Dak likes to do, which is run curl routes or slants across the middle, Pickens is deadly, especially about fades too, which is really deadly. And CD's never had that. CD's always lived with 2 or 3 shell cover. Now you're going to get him maybe in single cover sometimes. It's probably going to still be double, but even that he can beat the double. So I'm just so happy that this number is still plus 600 because I gave it up plus 700, and I thought for sure this would be plus 500, plus 400 by now. Still, no one's drinking the Kool-Aid. Everyone just hates this Dallas team. So yeah, this, even though I love the Eagles, I've hyped it up. This is clearly my favorite for value-wise divisional bet. Plus 600. It's amazing odds where I'm telling you, people, they're not that much worse than the Eagles. I have them at plus 300 for this division. And for a win total, again, my model has them 8.5. I think this is easily a 10-win team, 9-win team. So 7.5, it's one of my favorite totals. I've been betting it for 3 months now. It's lined up for this team. It's just, even with the Parsons drama, I agree with you. This is what Jerry does. Like, Jerry just does this type of thing. So I'm with you. I wish it wasn't happening this way and it could get ugly quick. But as we sit here right now, what is it, August 12th, August 11th? I'm confident that if they get it done the next week or two, that's plenty of time. 2-3 weeks for Parsons to get into game shape before this Eagles game. I think that's plenty of time. Where he's been working out, but like you said, he's been doing zero contact, which is an issue. Like, you need to have contact in the preseason to get ready for the upcoming season. So I'm with that's the only reason I'm not all in on this team. I think the Eagles are still going to win this division. It's just it's the Jerry Jones effect. There's so much extra bullshit that these other teams don't have to deal with when you have Jerry Jones as your owner.
So, as has been the theme for the past couple of shows, we're generally on the same side. I feel like the things that you're discounting as not mattering, specifically the Micah Parsons stuff, you kind of glossed over offensive line because I do think that offensive line injuries are piling up for them already, and they were already having to figure out what to do with an offensive line. That matters with a quarterback who's
They haven't had that good of an offensive line, brother, in like 3-4 years. Like, you're thinking of when
right,
Dak
and Dak
was a
keeps
rookie.
getting hurt.
Yeah, but again, every year they win 12 games. Like, last year was the anomaly. He got hurt. I think he was 3-5 when he got hurt. Like, he was not playing well. I agree with you, but like, again, people have just moved too quick. Like, you didn't even have Dak in your top 10. You're out on me. I don't even think you had him in your top 15. So that's what I mean. People are just totally out on Dak and this team.
Listen, let's
You didn't
That's
mention
re-
his name. You mentioned Tua's name rather than mentioning
that is
Dak's name.
well,
I'm not letting you
that
escape
is
that one.
revisionist history. I had Dak at 13.
Yeah, bullshit. So that's what I mean. It's just they just line up as this team where people don't like their head coach. They're all negative about it, and end of the year they're gonna have somehow they're gonna have double-digit wins, and it's just the talent level is that high. I think they just have so much talent, and my only fear right now for this team is what you just talked about, the Parsons with that D line. If it's a distraction, if they didn't add the right pieces, they still can't stop the run. Yeah, their defense could be atrocious, but that offense, man, like Dak has the ultimate weapons. And your question about their offensive line, they've been drafting offensive linemen, and they've got some guys in there that I think do project out to be pretty good. So that's why I'm not as worried about them as you are, where it's like, if you want to talk about bad offensive lines, I could spend a half hour on Miami's offensive line. So it's like you got to give and take with these certain teams. I'm with you. There are some injuries, but yeah, I think that with the weapons they have in Dallas, I don't get why Washington's the second favorite team in this division. I just think it should be Dallas. Again, as much love I'm getting to Dallas here, still people don't forget Eagles to win this division, still probably the best bet at -145.
New York Football Giants, 30-1 to win the division, 75-1 to win the conference, 200-1 to win the Super Bowl. Win total, 5.5. So I've been grilling AI constantly the last couple of weeks about the advanced metrics that best correlate to covering
Oh, that poor AI.
the spread. No matter any way I slice it, defense comes up. And we talked about
Yeah.
this with the Jets, right? Like defense success rate, defensive EPA, pressure rate. If the Giants have Dexter Lawrence healthy in the middle of the defensive line, they can be a very disruptive force. When he was healthy last year, top 10 in pressure rate, because he commands so much attention. It made life so much easier for Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns. Now they have Abdul Carter. So I was leaning to the over. And I think a lot of it is similar to what you were saying about the Jets. Like they have the scheme and they have the defense that I think can be really impactful. And I kind of have to believe that their quarterback, probably Russell Wilson, can be competent enough to allow them to steal a couple of games because they got the Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs to start. Not easy. But then they got the Saints in week 4. Then it gets hard again. Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, Niners. But this defense makes it hard for me to commit.
No, don't overthink it. You just nailed it, dude. They're dead. They are dead. They're in an impossible defense in an impossible division without a quarterback. Like it's when I first saw their schedule, I thought it was a glitch. I was like, wait, this is the last place schedule? Who's the last place teams they play? Like it's the Saints. That's the one gift they get for coming in last place. It's brutal. Their schedule is brutal. It feels like there's no 2 weeks of just relief. Like they're the relief this year for all these different teams. Like this is just, yeah, their defensive line might be all right, and Russell Wilson, sure, he could steal a game. Like Neighbors is an incredible receiver. We've seen, their head coach win games with a guy that shouldn't even be in the league. Like they do have good coaching and they do have talent across the defense. So I'm with you. I want to get into it, but Andrew Thomas, their best offensive line, is already hurt. Like that's a nightmare. Me and you talked about last year. We didn't put a single dollar on them once he went down because we were just like, whoever's quarterback there is just going to die. And that's what happened in the season. So it sucks. We're like, people obviously have seen a pattern here. I love betting the worst teams in divisions because you always can lie to yourself and kind of think to yourself, they can find 6 wins. Like, there's ways to get there. But with this team, despite what Chad said, which is true, like they have probably one of the best D-lines in all of football. They might have one of the worst secondaries in all of football. They might have one of the worst offensive lines in football. They don't have a running back. Like, what the hell is that dude's name? Cam Scattaboo. He's fun. I love watching his college highlights. That dude looks like he runs a 5.0 40. Like I don't know if he's gonna be the game changer they need at running back. And as much as we love Neighbors, teams were happy to let Neighbors be the only guy to beat them, right? Last year we saw that where they would get up by 20 and you could stop doubling Neighbors and he could get his junk time yards. So it's just a team where I can't find 5 wins, let alone 4 wins. They scream to be top of the draft type of team. And if I was them, I would just start Dart from get-go. Like, to me, he had one throw in the preseason, and that's all I needed to see, where it's like, okay, this kid's raw. He might not know how to take snaps from under center and command an offense, but let's just get him out there and let the bullets fly. Let him just get through it. Because if he can show something, then you keep him. If not, you're going to once again have a top 2, top 3 draft pick. Like this, there's just no way this team is outside that draft zone. So it's dark days right now for Giants fans. Like, it's just, you're in a division now with Jane Daniels, Dak, and Jalen Hurts, which, I mean, I think Chad's come around on Dak a little bit. He probably would say Dak's close to a top 10 quarterback. That's brutal. You're in a division with 3 potential top 10 quarterbacks. You're so far behind the 8 ball. So, yeah, I wanted to get there with you Giants fans and find wins for you guys, but I look at it, I'm just like, if they got to 3 wins this year, that to me would be a good season for this Giants team. That's how brutal of a schedule is, and that's how bad their team is when I plug them into my model. So I got them at 4 wins. If you get over 3, tons of respect to this team. But yeah, 5.5, I'll take that under every time if it's a game and a half. So yeah, it should be. They're 201 to win the Super Bowl. That sounds right. They are that bad.
Nightmare schedule.
Yeah, like if you're a season ticket holder, I would take the year off if I'm a Giants fan. Like this,
I was shocked when I went through the schedule and I looked at it. I'm like, this is fucking insane.
How is this a last place schedule? I couldn't believe it.
How do they do this to somebody?
Yeah.
The scriptwriters did not get the memo that you got to make one of the marquee teams in the biggest city have a little bit of a fighting chance.
No, they're just, again, they're in a really brutal division. Our outside division games this year are just awful. Like, it's just, like you said, playing the AFC North, it's AFC North playing the AFC West. It doesn't get much worse.
Favorite division bet for you? It's the Eagles minus 145, and then maybe a little taste of the Cowboys at.
That's Cowboys definitely best value for long shot.
6-1. I like the Commanders under 9.5 total wins. The favorites will return with our next episode Tuesday on the Action Network YouTube page, where we cover the NFC North with a very special guest interview. Download us from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe. Leave us 5 stars. Say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until next time, love you.